Hello everybody, welcome back to Hellenic TV. I'm James Neophytou. This is our table for two. I'm here with Alexios Gennaris. We're going to continue our conversations. I think this time, Alex, we'll keep to our structure.
Yeah, definitely.
Sierra Leone, mentoring, mental health, number 2, and finally community matters and community news. There's lots to talk about.
Yeah, too much
at this event, at this session. So let's kick off with Sierra Leone. There's a lot of good feedback online on YouTube about your efforts. Tell us the latest. You've got a trip planned. Tell us a bit more.
Yeah, there's loads going on with Sierra Leone. First of all, we mentioned last time the 10 desktop PCs and monitors. They've now arrived at the mission, and they'll be set up in the IT room there for the students at the teaching college, and they'll be literally, for the first time, they'll be able to get on a computer. I know students who have used their mobile phone to write 2,500 word essays, tapping away, because they have no other means of writing an essay. So now they'll have the desktop PCs. Something else I've sent over there now, also hair clippers. Someone gave me a set of hair clippers, the shavers, and I've sent it to one of the boys there, Usman, so he can now just earn money to just cutting hair.
Mobile barber.
Yeah. So that's another plus. I mean, they pay about 40p for 80p for a haircut. 80p is 2 hot meals for him. He can buy 2 hot meals with that money. So we have that. I've mentioned, I think, the Nextdoor app before on my phone, where I look for free things, and I was on the app a couple of weeks ago. There was a lady in Barking from a primary school giving away 4 of those round folding desks with the seats attached. So there's 8 seats, and the desk, when it folds, it's as tall as us.
Right.
So she had 4 on offer, free of charge. So I wrote to her on a Friday, and I said, look, I'd love these for Sierra Leone. So I didn't want to mention to Deaconess Mary, who's the headmistress at the primary school, until I have them. So I wrote to the lady, and she says, well, if you can arrange to pick them up on Monday, you can have them. I said, well, let me write to the freight company, Leon Freight, who take the things to Sierra Leone. I wrote to them on a Friday, but it was after 5 o'clock. Right. So I didn't get an answer all weekend. And then the lady who was giving the tables away said, well, someone else wants them, and they're coming on Monday with a van. I thought, well, as long as they go to a good home, that's fine. She writes to me on Sunday saying they've written to her saying they can't find a van. I said, let me get onto the Monday morning. Monday morning, I spoke to Alex at Leon Freight. He went there the next morning.
Picked them up.
He collected them. So once I knew we had them, I then wrote to Deaconess Mary. Within 10 minutes, she wrote back to me saying, you've read my mind. I was just looking for those precise desks for our nursery and primary school. So they're actually on their way now to Sierra Leone. So that's another plus. Dover Brooks, we have the Dover Brooks mug here again. They're going to donate a whole lot of school uniforms once again, bags and bags of them from the students. Wow. But also the students are also, because a lot of them are boarders and the international students, they're going away back home for Easter. They'll be donating their standard clothes, the jeans, the t-shirts and what have you, for Sierra Leone. Now they're going to go to an area called Godridge Village. It's a very, very poor area. It's where we had the party last year, the street party. In fact, the first time I went there, I was probably the first white face they'd seen in Godridge Village. You just can't walk in there through Godridge Village. Wow. And we were walking through these narrow roads because we were supporting quite a few families there. And as I was walking down, a lady points, like she nudged her son and she points to me, she goes, white man, white man. And I started laughing. She goes, white man laughing, white man laughing. But I was literally the first white man they'd seen. But we've done a lot for Godridge Village. We've paid for the repair of buildings called Banders for smoking fish. That was £1,500 it cost. We bought a fishing boat named after my granddaughter Anastasia. So now they're going to have these boxes of clothes arriving as well soon. So that was Dover Brooks. Now we've got our trip planned now for the 4th of June until the 21st of June. So this is actually the rainy season. this is it's actually a risky time to go, but we won't know how to help them unless we're in the thick of it.
Yeah.
You have floods.
See it.
You have children suffering with malnutrition because of the flooding and the rains. The people can't sell in the streets, so they can't go and buy food. Also, their mums who go out and sell things in the street markets can't do that either.
Yep.
So
their income goes down.
You've got extra cases of typhoid, of cholera. So hopefully we'll be in the thick of it, so that we can find out how to best help them. So that's the Sierra Leone news.
Let's just touch on that a little bit. So when these diseases that you talk about, typhoid, cholera, the medical profession around that community, presumably they've got all-round doctors and clinics, or how does that work?
They have. The way it works there is there are so many charities that have clinics,
right?
But you need money to buy the medicine.
And they don't have that.
And they don't have that. Right. The mission does. They have a supply of medicine, but that runs out as well.
Sure.
The way it works for us is when our zinc house kids, as I call them, when they're sick, we send them to the clinic, and then we get a message there from the doctor saying so-and-so has come, he has malaria, he needs this medicine, then I'll send the money, and then they have the medicine immediately. Okay. Rather than drain the mission of its resources, we do it that way. Once with our charity's underway, we're still waiting for the registration, we'll hopefully be able to send regular money to the actual mission as well, to their clinic's bank account, just to keep everything going. So that's how it works there, yeah.
So there's means of income. You've talked previously about sewing machines and buttons and now hair clippers, and you're providing means of income for them, and now also medical support as well. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the medical support has been there for a long time, helping them a lot.
Good.
Now, moving on from there to go on to the mentoring side, whilst I was there last year...
Sorry, before the mentoring side, you're going when?
In 4th of June until 21st of June.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so it's two and a half weeks.
In June.
So
safe travels.
Thank you, James. Thank you. It's a long way to go, but still. So when I was there last time in February of last year, the bishop Themi, he asked me if I could talk to the students at the teaching college about mentoring.
Right.
So I made a few notes. We had a nice big whiteboard there, so I could start writing. And then we had 40 students there, and they were so into it because they're not taught this at all. Safeguarding, you know, we were discussing safeguarding before. Safeguarding for the children does not exist.
Right.
You know, so there was a simple exercise I did with the students. So simply, I stood like this with my hands, one hand over the other for 10 seconds, and then I said, I'm going to switch my hands over after 10 seconds, and everyone just look at me. I did this, and as I switched over, and then only one person saw what I just did now. Did you? I'm covering the microphone. So what happened was my shoulders dropped slightly, and my breathing changed. So as teachers, when they're talking with students and they're having a one-to-one, if they see that sudden change, that sudden change in breathing, the drop of the shoulders, then the question they just asked the student may lead to something, and they found a problem there. So nice to, and also things like obviously the body language changes completely. So when I teach mentoring, I describe it as an idle chat with a purpose.
Right. Yes.
So you're discussing, they're feeling quite relaxed, because if you're probing and you're trying to get things out of them, they switch off and get very defensive. So whilst you're discussing the situation and what's happening in their life, and then if suddenly you ask, how are you? They go, I'm okay, sir.
Right.
Instantly you think, okay, that's not right. But whether it's, I'm okay, sir, shows that the body language matches with what they're saying. So that's very important. So when I was at Middlesex University, quite often I used to have students walking in during their lunch breaks, and if I didn't have any students, they'll sit in my office and they'll just have their lunch and just talk about anything. Yep. And that's when you look for those telltale signs,
right. Yep.
the breathing, the body language, and so on and so forth. So the reason they're there is not just to have their lunch and have an idle chat.
Yeah. You're trying to say something.
That's right. So you as a teacher, you must get that with your students.
Body language is a huge thing. Poker players call it the tell, right? So there's like you say, there's hidden body language. Usually the body language that I see at school is telling children to sit up straight. But when they're talking to me exactly like you say, it's eye contact, number one. So I tell students to look me in the eye if they can. But yeah, posture, sloping of the shoulders, shifting of the feet. All of those things tell a story. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. I mean, one thing I found with mentoring when it was a one-to-one situation, I'd look at their body language, see they're mirroring me. So if I'm sitting like this, and then I see they're sitting the same way, it means they feel quite comfortable with my presence. Whereas if I see they're feeling nervous, and then I copy their body language and do the same, then they feel more comfortable and they start to relax again. So it's a big thing. Just that alone. Now, in the community now, we've got, I mean, there's so much community news. There's a lot happening at the moment. When this goes out, will be at the start. Will be April. We have Lent has just begun today. Yesterday, obviously, was 17th of March, which was a very special Yorti. 3Alexios Alexios, just to let you know.
All right.
Okay. Very nice.
But it's also my mum's birthday.
It's usually just priests that know it.
Very good.
In fact, Father Anastasios in Bristol, he had the icon of 3Alexios Alexios up in his church, which is a big honour for me. Now, so things happening in the community. There's so much there at the moment. With regards to Sierra Leone, I was at Christ the Saviour in Welling a couple of weeks ago. Now, that's an absolutely amazing community. They give regularly money. They also collect clothes and books and what have you. But when I was there on Sunday a couple of weeks back, they allowed me to read the Lord's Prayer in Creole, in Sierra Leonean Creole, spelled K-R-I-O. Which is the language of the freed slaves who came from the West Indies, from America, Canada, even from the UK. So I got to read the Lord's Prayer in Creole. And the reason I do that is just to raise awareness that we're not the only Orthodox, first of all, in the world, being Greek Orthodox. They exist in Sierra Leone. The mission there, they have 3 churches. They built 3 churches. They have priests for each church, and there's a very large congregation now of Orthodox. The bishop was telling me how he would have a row of 30 people lining up to be baptized, Orthodox, and he'd get to a point where he'd have to say, "Sorry, look, next week again, please." But they would. No, but we want it now, because they know between now and next week they might not be alive. You don't know what's going to happen. So they need that in their life.
And of course they've got your font now.
They've got the Golimbithra now. Yes. So come June we'll be baptising Angeliki. There'll be Thomas Andreas as well. He'll be baptised as well, which will be interesting because it'll be the first time ever they're going to use the Golimbithra.
Amazing.
And that'll be Father Sordirios who'll be presiding over the.
Will you be there when they first use it, or?
Hopefully that's the first time in June. I think hopefully they're waiting for us to come. So that'd be quite a big event. Also, the Christ the Saviour in Welling. What they're also doing is they're asking for donations at the moment during Lent. So when we go to Sierra Leone, we'll have a sizable amount as well to go over.
Very good.
Another church that's helping a lot, Agaderini in Friar Barnet. They gave me quite a large donation a couple of weeks ago. Which it's for Sierra Leone.
Very good.
And they also want to find other ways of helping. Now I was there on Sunday there was a memorial service for the fallen and the missing from Morpho.
Yes.
And it was a very emotional service at the end, especially when the speech started. And the guy, imagine, 74 was 50 years ago.
Yes.
63 and 64 with the Oga.
Yes.
Vida was 60 years ago. Yet the gentleman who was giving his talk, he was crying. He still feels it 50 years on.
He never leaves you.
Because these were his friends, his family, his schoolmates, and he mentioned all this, and then he couldn't hold back the tears. So it doesn't matter how long it goes on for. It will always affect people. That was quite a moment. Now other events, non-church events, we had the Alquionides. Now,
amazing charity.
it is. Obviously, we've been to the events together for the Alquionides.
Yeah, we often go to their lunches, their evening. I mean, what they do, for viewers that don't know, is they provide accommodation and help for people coming for treatment and operations in the UK from Cyprus. And it's very difficult, obviously, for the families.
Yeah.
And Alquionides provide a nest for them,
that's
essentially.
it. Yeah, and it's actually a house that they've now purchased in northwest London. They had the blessing just on Saturday gone, and we had Father Vissarion there, Father Costantino. Now, Father Vissarion, he's from Holy Cross.
So it's their community.
So that's their local church. So he'll be paying quite a few visits
parish
there just to help them.
That's the word we're looking for.
Parish. Yeah.
Yeah, good.
So he was there, Father Costantino, as well. The Cypriot High Commissioner was there because the government of Cyprus helps a lot.
Good.
They provide a lot of funds for them as well. Also, His Eminence Archbishop Nikitas, he provides them with tens of thousands of pounds of donations as well.
Significant.
So there's a lot of money coming in, and thankfully now they have their own property rather than having to pay rent.
Yep, absolutely.
So that's a massive plus.
Self-sustaining, very important.
Now, last time we mentioned Asteraki and the carnival with Eleni Georgiou. I attended that with Anastasia, my granddaughter. They had 280 people attending.
Wow.
This was held at the Adelphotida, at the Brotherhood in Britannia Road. So 280 adults and children. There was live music. There was dancing. They had arts and crafts. They had dance. They had movement. They had everything that Eleni does in the small play groups, but on a massive scale. I was looking at all the costumes from the kids. So many Spider-Mans. I don't know why, or Spider-Men should it be?
It's the most popular.
It was the most popular,
superhero.
yes, Spider-Man. So that was the most popular one there. So we had that as well. There was food also from Andrea from the Brotherhood.
Right.
Every Friday,
the catering.
where we've been, every Friday they open as a restaurant. Friday evening. On Saturday nights, Sunday nights, they might have a party, so they cater for that. And in fact, the most beautiful thing was at the end when people were leaving, the families were invited to stay for dinner as well.
Amazing.
So they had all the tables laid out, and they stayed there for souvlakia. Excellent chef.
So is that going to happen regularly, or is that a one-off event, that Asteraki thing?
It's the actual carnival is every year. They have it every year.
Very good.
Obviously, COVID stopped it for a while.
Stopped it, yeah.
But it's such a professionally organised event, and there's structure which you need for these events rather than have some haphazard thing.
Random stalls.
Yeah. So they also had the kite making. They had arts and crafts in the separate rooms. There was face painting. In fact, Eleni's husband was the face painter. He's actually amazing. He really is good, James. So yes, that was an amazing event. And then the final event. I mean, yesterday was actually, I had 3 events to attend. I had Aiga Derini for the memorial. I had the carnival, and then from there I went straight to Hagia Sophia for the Vespers of Forgiveness.
Okay.
So this is like the start of Lent. That Vespers is what signifies the fact that we start our fasting, and those who do fast, and then we go on to Easter.
Easter. Yep.
Yeah. So that was quite a that was quite a service. I mean, Hagia Sophia was packed for Vespers. We had Father John Hookway giving a sermon.
Right.
So we had that as well. And at the end, His Eminence just greeted people. And I took Anastasia, my granddaughter, for the first time. And she sat with the Father Bavlo. And she was saying, I want to sit with the wise man.
Very good.
So he'll be very happy that he's now called a wise man.
Wise, yes.
And she sat there having a chat for the first time. She sat with him. Just having a chat, and she did enjoy it. She got a blessing from His Eminence, which was an extra bonus.
Excellent.
But
Amazing.
that was my day. Very busy.
Your social circle.
Yeah.
I'll just put another plug for the choir events of the Byzantine School of Music. So on the Saturday the 13th of April we're in Woolwich. On Saturday the 20th of April we're at St. Panteleimon, and on the 26th of April we're at Aios Neophytou in Battersea.
Okay, I better write that down.
Yeah, these are, and I think this time it's quite nice to go to other communities that don't often get a visit from the choir.
Yeah, definitely.
Because over the past few years we've visited kind of the North London churches. Now we're going a bit further afield, Woolwich, Battersea, It's nice to get out.
Woolwich is quite a place to go if you haven't been already.
Yeah.
And don't you have a pianist as well now?
There is. I mean, we are doing Lega, traditional folk songs as well. I wouldn't say we're professionalising, but certainly the level has improved in terms of practice and training.
Yeah.
So that will show as well, and hopefully, more people come to join the choir. We visit more communities. I mean, we think of Woolwich and Battersea as being a different town.
It is.
Basically. It's like probably quicker to go to Birmingham than it is to go to...
It is. Anything south of the river. Well, it's with Woolwich, it's Blackwall Tunnel. That's if you get caught there, then that's it. But it's it is well worth the trip to Woolwich.
Good.
And I'll be going down for that one.
That'll
Definitely.
be good. Thank you, Alex. Good summary of everything that's happening. Thank you, viewers. We will see you again soon. All the best. Bye-bye.
But we're going to do 3 animals. Okay? Okay? To the beat, okay? Όταν θα πάω γύρω μου στο μπαζάρι, ας το αγοράσω ένα κοκοράκι. Το κοκοράκι, κικι, θα σε ξυπνάει κάθε πρωί. Όταν θα πάω γύρω μου στο μπαζάρι, θα το αγοράσω μία κοτούλα.
Obrigado.